and welcome back to Maha Mamas. This is episode 9. I'm Tonya.
I'm Jennifer.
And we'll just get into this week's recap, right?
Yeah.
So we follow, obviously, Secretary Kennedy.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have time to watch everything that he's constantly putting out, you can always just go to like Instagram, Facebook. He puts out really great reels that just kind of recap everything. So we're just kind of recapping his recap, I guess.
Yeah.
But go check him out. This week, he basically explained really well why the U.S. will be rejecting the WHO's new IHR, which is the International Health Regulation. Basically, they're trying to get all the countries to accept these new regulations and how the world should handle like another pandemic or a health situation, right? And so I'm super thrilled that Kennedy said we will be rejecting those because we should not be accepting those at all.
And what are they?
Basically, it's you don't want to sign over the power for this, unelected international organization to have control over us during a situation like that, because then you have the lockdowns, you have travel restrictions, whatever they
Vaccine passports, health IDs.
Right. They talked about having all of
censorship.
This. And we don't want
Sounds familiar, right?
Right? So like we're the United States of America. We don't want to be under that control of whether it's a health emergency or whatever. It doesn't even have to be a health emergency. He said they can just call whatever they want for the whole world. Like it just sounds like one world order stuff.
Well, and I mean, we lived through it in 2020.
Yes.
And we even saw it at the local level. We had a mask mandate here. Ooh. And the person who made that like the mandate was the head of our state health for our county, actually, Health and Human Services, totally unelected official, making a law restricting the rights of the citizens. And so our state attorney general filed a lawsuit against her, and it kind of got drug out.
It was such a mess.
But it was like, you can't have people that we didn't elect taking away our rights.
Right, making these decisions.
Which it totally happened ad nauseum during 2020. And, for those 2 years of nonsense, our constitutional rights were violated so badly. And so Kennedy, rejecting these regulations is basically saying never again.
Yes. Which makes me so happy.
I know.
Oh man, if it were the other side of things in office right now and we were accepting these, we would be in some...
Don't get us wrong, we're a little annoyed about certain things that are going on with this administration. But, I see like influencers are on both sides of this. Like, I'm done with Trump. I'm done with the Trump administration. Two things can exist at once. Like we can be happy with Trump's appointees, like Secretary Kennedy or Pete Hegseth, and also question things that are going on right now.
Right.
Like the whole Epstein thing. We're not going to get into that, but like, we're not happy about it. Who's happy about it? He literally campaigned on that. I'm digressing.
I know.
But all I'm saying is like, can you imagine if Trump had not been elected and we did not have Secretary Kennedy, like to know that we could go through 2020 again. I'm still not okay about that. I'm never going to, like, how are they going to write that in history books? It's so embarrassing.
And we'll talk, I think we'll talk about homeschooling today. So that's always interesting to see how they do write things in history books.
Right.
Okay. And another thing, more the whole artificial food dyes news. Let's see, we now got it out of ice cream.
Like the international dairy people.
Yeah.
Like, so internationally, like,
yes,
our boy is like moving mountains, not even in our country, like international dairy associations. No more dyes.
I saw a meme and it was like, Biden with like ice cream. And he's like, man, we'll never get dyes out of ice cream or something like that. And then they show Secretary Kennedy. He's like, I just did. Like, and then he posted it and he said, we just did. Like, because this is such a movement. And it's just awesome that parents are, reading labels and seeing that there are options where there's no food dye. And those are the ones we should be picking.
Welch's said it's going to come out of fruit snacks.
Welch's just jumped on board.
I'm a big fruit snack hater.
She's a hater.
The whole thing's a lie. It's not fruit.
It's not.
It has a little drop of fruit juice in it. It's not fruit. It's a lot of chewy unidentified substances. So please don't think that it's a food group and that you're meeting the fruit checkoff sheet by giving your kids fruit snacks.
Give them actual fruit.
Yes. But it's still great. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That it's not going to have a neurotoxin in it anymore.
Right. And so we're at 35% of U.S. food industry has committed to removing artificial food dyes.
Yeah.
Which is huge because this hasn't been, like a law yet. This hasn't been like they're voluntarily committing to do this.
But I still want to know why it is going to take a few years for some people, considering our Fruit Loops we send to Europe doesn't have dye in it.
Right.
Like we know we can already do it.
Yes, which my dad asked me that the other day. He goes, you guys should ask about the whole dates. And I said, my guess is they already have this stuff made or they already have the dye bought. And they were probably like, okay, we'll agree to doing this, but you have to let us use what we already have, and that's so gross.
I know.
Ooh,
it is.
So just maybe if we just start.
But those preservatives make things last forever. So you can have that for 2 more years.
So if you have the option, just start getting the food dye one now. And hopefully they'll just have to throw out everything that's left. I don't know. They should just hurry up. I don't get why we would have to wait that long otherwise.
Yeah, whatever.
I know. Okay. And so with that and knowing how food dyes
affect brains,
affect brains, affect little people, especially, right? Our kids. I think we're just going to talk about homeschooling today as an option.
And what motivated me to want to cover this is that I always, around this time, I see memes floating around on social media from, and I don't even like to use this label, school moms. Where
school moms.
It's like, oh, when does school start? Like the one in particular that motivated me to do this show it was like a guy, it was Ryan Gosling, looking at the camera all
sexy.
I can show it to you. Ryan Gosling, see? And it says me, who's been homeschooling for 10 years. And then it shows this guy over here with his hands up in the air. Other moms explaining how hard it is to have their kids home all summer. That is Ryan Gosling, right? Do I have the right guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I need my glasses.
And and they'll, you see the post oh my gosh, when is summer going to be over? I cannot believe I have to have my children home for 7 hours a day, and school can't start fast enough. Where I'm over here oh my gosh, once 4th of July hits, summer's over. I live for summer, and I realize a lot of that has to do with is because I'm teaching my kids every day and I'm lesson planning, and I realize that I need breaks for my kids too. I totally get that. And I'm not sitting here trying to bash moms who post that kind of stuff, but I kind of am, because institutional education is a modern nuance. Having your kids gone 5 days a week, 7 hours a day, that is not how children are educated.
Right. It just seems like daycare where they teach you while you're there, which is what daycare is anyway.
Because your kids are not being fed curriculum for 7 hours. They're not.
No.
There is a lot of downtime during that time.
It's a lot of wasted time.
A lot of wasted time.
Just walking from, the lunchroom to recess and correcting behaviors that are, disrupting the classroom. And it's just a lot of wasted time.
It is. And it took me, so first of all, this episode is not to bash school moms. I realize there are some women who legitimately cannot homeschool their children. I get that. Your husband died and you have to work, or you have a kid with some sort of, learning disability or is that, what are we calling that? Neurodiversity or whatever, or impediment that makes it really hard to school. That I get that.
I thrive in the school situation. Yeah.
But I will also tell you that I've been homeschooling. My oldest is about to turn 21, and none of my kids have ever gone to school. So I've homeschooled from the very beginning, and I am a very different homeschool mom now than I was when he was first schooling. I was very much we've got to finish every book and we have to do this much time every day. And I was very regimented and very militant in those early years. And now I realize that there's so much more to schooling than the books. It's a relationship thing. It's a real world scenario
It's a
thing.
family
It's
thing.
a family thing. Like there's some days where I'm like, okay, today we're learning how to clean toilets. Like, because you need to know, because there are legitimately like 25-year-olds that don't know how to clean toilets now.
It's true.
So this isn't me like saying everybody has to homeschool, but I will tell you that like the public school system as it's set up right now does not have your child's best interests at all. At all. Kids make it in public school, not because of the public school system, but in spite of it. I will go to my grave, like believing that. I do feel like 2020 brought us a lot of new homeschoolers.
Yes.
It also brought us a lot of grassroots schools, which like here we call them Title 13 schools.
Yeah,
that's
little pop-up schools that just start their own.
Yeah, which are basically homeschooling, but at school.
Right.
Because you still like,
they're still there 5 days a week, right?
Yeah.
But they're all signed up as homeschoolers.
And they're not under the umbrella of the federal government or the, the
so they don't have
national,
to use
like
a certain curriculum
or the teachers union, which is just a bunch of creeps.
Yes.
You're not going to get a filtered situation when you watch this podcast.
Yes.
I mean, like, I just.
Yeah, I feel like any moms watching this that are set on their kids going to school, like that's one thing. But if you're a mom that's been questioning and been, concerned, like maybe I should pull them, maybe I should homeschool them, I just think we just want to encourage you to do it. It is possible. There's so much, like homeschooling is so big now, and with technology, there's so many groups, there's so many co-ops, there's so many STEM like setups. I mean, it's like you can get together with other homeschool kids every day of the week if you want, or you can get together with them one day a week or whatever. You can have a day that looks like school where you guys do a science experiment, where you do, choir, where you do just fun things, but you're still doing main stuff at home.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's such a good, there's so much to look into, and I just want to like encourage moms.
Well, and now that
to do it.
Right. And now that I have a child that's an adult, I have 2 adults now, actually. One's in the trades and one has a full-time career. And
go trades.
Like, I look back at how fast we got here. I mean, I remember being pregnant with my first child and like it was yesterday. And I can't imagine hitting this 21-year milestone and have had him gone 7 hours of the day, like 2/3 of his life with me.
Yeah, and that's what I totally tell people. I'm like, when do you see your kid? Like, seriously, because I feel like you would just wake up in the morning and rush. And it's like, send them off to school, drop them off, bye, and pack lunches and do all that. And then bring them home. And it's like, okay, after school activity, here's dinner, take a bath, do your homework, go to bed. Like, when do you,
it's so fast paced.
Yeah, because then weekends are like sports or whatever is happening. Like, I'm just like,
where is that time?
Where are the hours that you're really getting with your kid? And then to see them during summer be like, oh my gosh, I need my kid back in school.
That hurts me.
Yeah.
I do. I'm totally judging moms who post those things on Facebook, because God didn't give us our children to give them away.
Right.
Like, they're not burdens.
We're meant to be the sole.
Right. You die to yourself when you have your babies.
Educator.
Yes.
Like, we are.
That's scriptural.
Yes.
And I know there's non-believers out there, but that is maybe watching us. I don't know. I don't care. Like, God bless you. I'm praying for you. But we were not, like, it starts from when they're born. Like, the first thing that like Western medicine tells you is, oh, don't co-sleep. Put your baby in a room, a dark room away from you.
No.
Show me one animal in the animal kingdom, in the mammal, we're mammals, who the minute their babies are born, they're separated from them. Like, the society teaches us that from the time they come out of our body, like, separate yourself from your child. And it was by design. Our institutional education system we have now is a communist model. Like, it was 100% a communist model infiltration. The Socratic learning, back the great philosophers, Socrates, Homer, all those guys, they did not learn the way we teach our children right now.
Right.
And it wasn't 7 hours a day, 5 days a week in this institutional setting. It was not that. we weren't designed that way.
Right.
And so when I see these women posting this, I'm like, you are exactly proving what they wanted to happen.
Yeah.
This is what they want. They want you to see your child as a burden.
Mm-hmm.
They want you to see them as something like you did your duty. You created offspring. You considered the human race, but now be gone.
Oh, yeah,
Like
yeah.
I'm me, you're you. You're too much for me. We'll spend a little time together, but oh my gosh, not too much of my kids. Like that's what you're saying to me when you post those things. And that's what I think about you when you post them. And I think you are a victim who completely was duped by the people who wanted us separated, wanted families separated.
And that starts with the whole feminist movement and getting women out of the house.
This could be a 3-hour episode.
I know, but what I was going to say too is like as homeschooling moms, you know, we're not like, I'm not raising my kids in a bubble. Like my kids are so independent. Like I'm not trying to keep them close and be like, oh, I only have this much time with them. I need,
how do they get socialized?
No, like when it's still hard. Like I'm not trying to pretend homeschooling is like all rainbows and butterflies, right? There's days where you're like, okay, like go for a walk. Like we just need a space too.
Like right now, we don't know where our kids are. I'm just kidding. We know where they are. They're outside, but they're running around like ghosts in the graveyard or something,
like,
you know?
We get time to like enjoy adult time, right? Because we're like with our kids 24/7, but but we're raising them to be independent, like free thinkers. Like it's so amazing to see what they can do without being told, be quiet and sit in a seat for 7 hours a day. Like, and that's what they do in the schools because kids aren't meant to do that. You're not. And so that's why we have all of this over diagnosing of ADHD and all this stuff. And I know there's incentives.
Okay, so do you know that most diagnoses of ADHD come from the school? Because the teacher says, I can't get that kid to sit still. I think they have ADHD. So then they send a letter home to the mom or dad. Correct me if I'm wrong, any ADHD moms that are watching. You get a letter from the teacher and the principal, like, we think there's something going on. You should probably have them tested. Of course they're going to test positive. Like, this is all incentivized, just like everything else in the medical system. This is incentivized.
And then they want to medicate your kid.
And then you're getting Ritalin and you're getting things that are going to sterilize them, shut their organs down, cause horrible problems for them later on.
And then the school system gets more money because they have another kid diagnosed with something. Like, and then the test scores, you get like a kind of like a break on your test scores because you have more kids that are neuro whatever. Like it's a whole system to set. It's like setting your kid up for failure.
Right. And here's a little secret. I'm going to let you all in on it. Not every child learns the same.
No.
So that, like, your kid just have a different learning style, but now we're medicating them and they're drugging them and they're in an altered mental state so they can sit like little toy soldiers in a classroom so that the teacher doesn't have to be burdened with the fact that Johnny would prefer to roll around on the ground while he learns his letters.
Right, while he listens to the story. Like kids wiggle, they move. Like, yes, they should absolutely be respectful, but I hate that like the school system thinks they need to sit still and be quiet. They don't. My 7-year-old, we are active so much during the day. Like we do things. Like when we're homeschooling, it's a whole lifestyle. It doesn't look, when you go to homeschool, it doesn't need to look like school.
No,
like,
and that's what most people think. Oh God bless you. I could never homeschool. Guess who's not sitting at a desk for 7 hours a day? Our kids.
No, I have kids doing school in their room. We do some in the kitchen while I'm doing dishes. We'll go outside and sit on the deck. Like,
well, K through 3,
we can go literally do chalk on the driveway.
Right. K through 2-ish, 3. School should be 45 minutes to an hour and a half a day tops. And that's all they're getting at school. I hate to break it to you. That's how much they're getting at school too, because teachers know what an attention span of a 7-year-old is. It isn't 7 hours long.
No.
So
just babysitting.
It's just babysitting. Work. So this idea that you're sitting in a room with all your kids at a desk and you're at the front of the room at a board and you're teaching, that's not what homeschooling is. And that's not how our early scholars were learning either.
No.
That institutional education looks very different from the first several centuries of education.
And we can still like run errands and go to appointments and we can do some school in the car or in waiting rooms. Like it's
Yeah. And then this
Not what
whole
people
like,
think.
but how do you socialize them? Okay, well, you
Stop
have people
it.
peeing in litter boxes at your school.
Yeah, that's true.
So what kind of
You have-
socialization do you
You
want?
have kids being furries and
So first of all, let's start with this reality. My kids have always been very social. They can talk to any age group.
yes.
I've never had a kid hide behind my leg when an adult talks to them.
Right.
I've never like had socially awkward kids because where in your child's life after school are they going to be in a room with people all their same age?
Yeah, 25 people their age.
25 people their age.
Like that's not what the workforce
That isn't
is
even
like.
setting them up for a realistic scenario in real life.
Right. Yes.
So
I have had so many people say that. Like, your kids are amazing with babies. Your kids are amazing talking to adults. Like your kid, like literally, I'm just thinking of a recent conversation. She was like, I cannot, like, you can tell the difference between homeschool kids and public school kids. Like, you just can. The way, and I hate how it's like, oh, they're not socialized. No, they are better. They are better off.
Yeah.
You should see them talk to
Yeah.
adults, play with babies. Like, you're able to interact with all different people.
And like, I remember when I was a kid, if I had to like call someone on the phone that was an adult, I was terrified. But like, if I can't even think of anything off the top of my head, but I've been like chopping vegetables in the kitchen and like needed to call a store for something. And I've just told one of my
kids,
15-year-old, will you call like Baker's, Hy-Vee, a grocery store and ask them if they have this?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Mom, no problem. Like, my kids aren't scared to talk on the phone to like professionals.
Yes.
You know,
or we'll have like contractors out to the house. We just had somebody doing our driveway. And I said, go out there and ask if they need water, if they need anything, you know, and they do. And they're not, I feel like your kids aren't going to be weirdos if you aren't weirdos. Like,
right. I know.
like, you just,
my 7-year-old called me today because I had to run an errand and he was home with his dad. They were the only two at home, and my husband jumped in the shower and we're having some like landscaping work done. And the landscaping guy showed up. Of course, like my husband was waiting and they didn't show up. And of course, the minute he gets in the shower. So my youngest, who's just turned 7, calls my phone and he's like, Mom, so-and-so landscaping's here. What do you want me to do? And I'm like, where's your dad? He's like, well, he's in the shower. I'm like, did you tell him? And he literally said the name of the landscaping company. He's like, so-and-so landscaping's here.
They just sound so
and he's like, I told him that I'd call you. And I'm like, go get your dad. He's like, oh, okay.
That's what kids do.
So my 7-year-old's like, I'm going to go get my dad out of the shower. I'll be right back. Like, he knew how to talk to this grown man from this company that came to our door. And so, and I just attribute that to that. I throw my kids into real world situations all the time.
Yeah.
And
totally. And again, I am not homeschooling to raise them in a bubble. I'm not trying to, what's the word, like, shelter them. No, not at all. I want my kids to know what's going on in the real world. Like, I want them to know, but at age appropriate, like through age appropriate conversations, right? And you are the one who knows your child. Like, you know what they can handle, what kind of conversations they can handle. You are who God chose to be their parent. And there should be that like family bond and family relationship. And it's just so cool to be able to do that with each kid and know what they can handle, and to still have those real conversations about what's going on. But this is it from God's point of view, and this is the morals that our family has, or the convictions that our family has, and you know, and you can still treat everyone with respect, and you can still like so many positive things, but just to have those real conversations instead of them go and be taught all these lies at school.
I know. And it's funny now because, you know, there's so many things coming out that we know we've been lied to. And my kids will say, you know, this book says this, Mom, but that's not true, right? And I'm not going to get into some of the things that we've talked about that's not true, because you guys will think I'm crazy. But, you know, just like, you know, I'll give an example. Like, one of our we do a classical curriculum, and they do like memory work. And so one of the sentences was about like the tycoons, like Rockefeller, Carnegie, Swift, all of those guys. So my kids know that the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds and all of them, the globalists, they know that those were evil men, even though they're credited with like building this country. My kids know, like, the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds, you know, attacked natural health places that were curing cancer because they wanted to monopolize the cancer industry.
Yes.
Like my kids know that. They're never going to learn that at school.
Right.
They're going to learn those guys were the American heroes, right? They're learning that Bill Gates is a humanitarian and a hero in their health classes.
And so that's what I wonder, like how the history books are going to write, like COVID. Are they going to talk about Fauci and Bill Gates and Deborah, what was her
Burks?
All these people, like how are they going to paint this in history books?
Or the person, the Rachel Levine, who used to be a dude that's in trouble. It was like, what was her position before Kennedy took over? She was like Deputy Health and Human Services Secretary or something.
Yeah, the one who's a guy.
Like a dude?
Yeah, that was the previous Health and Human Services.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, secretary. That was our past health secretary, yeah.
Right.
Yes, I know. I just
so
not a picture of health, unfortunately.
You know, and I just and then like here's another thing too that bothers me. Like if you do start homeschooling your kids and you have one kid who's like difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that I hate seeing is like, oh, I'm homeschooling everybody but so-and-so.
Oh, or you send like one to school.
You send one to school. And like, I'm just like, wow. I don't know everybody's story, but like, how is that not in a sense like an abandonment issue?
Oh, I mean, you mentioned where maybe there's a certain,
and that's where I want to mention, like, if you're in that scenario, there's tutors,
individualized.
There's people that you can bring in to help with that problem child. And I mean, I definitely know people who have had to send and I mean, if that kid wants to go to school, that's one thing. If they're like, dude, I don't want to be home with all you guys, that's fine. But like, if you're sending a kid to school because they know that they're the one causing a problem, please get help first. Like, because that's going to create such issues.
Yeah. But I feel like also how you just said, like maybe someone wants to go to school. At the end of the day, like
we make that decision.
We're the parents and we make that decision. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like my kids still do sports. They do so many activities. Mm-hmm. I was a public school kid. I was homeschooled a couple of years, but I still did like 4-H and sports and all the things. Like it's not like you're in some basement all day and never see sun. Like I don't know. I feel like the media has always portrayed homeschoolers as like awful people who
and their kids are dumb.
Chain up their kids or something.
And because they always highlight that one story
of a horrible situation.
And I mean, like my oldest, he was offered 5 scholarships to 5 different colleges, and I homeschooled him all the way through. So it's not like and athletic and academic, and all of my boys are athletes, very competitive athletes. My daughter is also a competitive athlete.
The cutest.
So like to think we're just all like a bunch of book nerds with not a TV, like, and don't get me wrong, there's also extremes within the homeschool community. And like, this is a funny story.
I feel like we're good friends because we have a lot of similarities, but there are some homeschoolers with no screens, no TVs, and we're kind of like in the middle.
And we can be pretty self-deprecating. Like we'll sit there and be like, we're homeschoolers, we're not weird. Like, which sometimes I'm like, I shouldn't say that. That sounds so bad. But one time years ago, my co-op I was in, we went to a field trip.
Yeah.
And we were walking in the museum, and I was walking behind some of the kids, and like this one family, I don't understand it. All the boys always had flood pants, like floodwater pants. And I just remember in my head going, yeah, way to let everybody know we homeschool. Like, could you not get your kid pants that fit?
Right.
You know? So
I know, but
we are critical of our own. Let me tell you, we're critical of the public schoolers, but we're really critical of our own.
But at the same time, my kids are not going to school every day and feeling like, oh, mom, I need this pair of shoes, or oh, mom, I need this water bottle.
Yeah.
Or
like,
we've
got Stanleys.
Yes. Get out of here with that. Like that is not like, see, that's what your kids are going to school for. To be taught social issues and then just compare and compete and play keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
And then you parents go and do it. And it's ridiculous. Like that's not the stuff that
I buy hand-me-downs, but they fit.
Oh yeah. Like I'm a garage
We're
sale.
not wearing floodwaters.
Like I will go to garage sales.
Yeah.
Like all the consignment shops. Like, it's insane what people pay to make sure their kid is not getting bullied
or fitting in,
yes,
or
like, get out of here. Yeah, and the last thing I was going to say was, with them all going to school, they're all being taught like the same thing at the same time. They're expecting the same level, like the same test scores. It's so wrong. That is not how our kids are meant to learn at all. Like,
no.
I have some that were reading, at like 3 or 4,
Right.
and some that just started reading at like 6.5. Like, it's, I'm so over the pressure of your kid needs to know this by the time they're 4. I'm like, no, they don't. No, they don't. If they'd rather be doing cartwheels out back all day and, like counting, okay, then that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. Like, we'll all get there. Like, we can all go at our own pace and everybody will be caught up. Just take it easy, calm down.
Well, and back
focus
to the whole
on your hearts.
Yeah, and the whole ADHD and like how like if you're not sitting still or you're not doing this or you're talking out all the time. Well, okay, that kid that's talking out all the time, they probably need to be in a seminar style co-op where they get to express themselves and debate and have discussions.
Right.
So there's homeschool curriculums that literally are modeled that way.
Yes.
One of my mentors who, like, I knew her from a Bible study I was in when I first quit working for the police department I worked for to stay home with my kids. And she was homeschooling a bunch of kids. And I was like, you are crazy.
How do you do that?
And then I met her kids and I'm like, these children are amazing. Like, they know how to talk to me. They're so kind. They're so great. And she told me a story once how like her one daughter, she couldn't get her to sit still. And she would like try to sit her at the desk and get her to do her work. And she was always moving. She was always trying to get her to sit still. Well, she wasn't retaining anything. So then she was like, well, maybe I just need to let her roll around and do somersaults while we're learning. Yes. Well, she started to let her move around and do somersaults and she was retaining and she was learning.
Yes.
But put that girl in a public school setting, she'd be on Ritalin.
Yes.
She'd be on some sort of drug that would get her to focus, oh, she can't focus. She's got ADHD. She can focus. She just needs to focus in her own environment, like in an environment that makes her feel confident and able to learn. Right. And so that's the problem I have is if you don't meet the teacher's needs, see, the teacher needs to be meeting your needs.
Right.
But in public school, if your child isn't meeting the teacher's needs and their expectations, then they're a problem.
Right.
And they get a diagnosis.
Yes.
And that's wrong.
Yes. And that's spot on. But I was also going to say how sometimes with homeschooling, like I said, sometimes there's hard days or whatever, but usually that like after Christmas till the end of the year, like that second semester, I feel like I just wanted to like give a little shout out for moms that might feel like, oh, like, why am I homeschooling? I'm sending my kids to school next year. Like when you just kind of have that moment of like, I'm so done. I'm sending them back. Like, please remember, we all have those moments sometimes. It's like,
I do it every March.
Yes.
Every March, I'm like, why am I homeschooling? For 16 years. Every March I say that.
But at the same time, you have to remember that's also how the teachers feel when they're like the public school teachers.
They are so done with
their kids. I am so done teaching.
Yeah.
Why am I a teacher? I make crap money. I'm not doing this. They have 25 kids they can't control. So just know to like I said, just breathe, because you don't want, if you know that's not what you want for your kids, like if that's not what God, like if God is calling you to homeschool, which by the way, I never planned to be a homeschool mom. Never. It was not on the radar at all. My husband was actually a professional athlete. And so we were traveling all the time. And I was talking to all the veteran wives and they said, no, like homeschool, because my husband played baseball. So they were like, it's really hard to take him out for spring training, like in February, March. And then you don't get back till like October if they make playoffs and everything. So they were like, it's hard to work with the school systems, just homeschool them while they're little. So that's how we got started. And then we just kept it going because it was so easy while they were little. And then COVID happened. So we just kept it going. And since COVID, it's like, there's no way I'm sending them. So it's just, I wrestled with God on that. Like, I was like, no, I'm not homeschooling my children. Like, that was never, I wasn't engaged to Tyler and was like, oh, I'm going to homeschool the children. Like, that was not in the cards.
I wasn't even going to be a stay-at-home mom. Like, I was going to have 2 kids and keep fighting crime.
So,
but I'll tell you, my reason for homeschooling is because I responded to the school like calls as a cop.
Oh yeah.
And I saw the way
it's out of control.
I saw the way other children behaved. I saw racism, but not like what you would think, like white kids getting assaulted, but because it was by a Black kid, like it was dusted under the rug. I saw
Just
teachers being sexually inappropriate and the
Yes.
administration trying to bury it when they should have called us first, but we found out about it way longer than we should have. Like they always tried to handle things in-house that should have never been handled in house. Like 911 should have been the first call, not the seventh one. And I was like, I'm not letting these people have control of my children for 7 hours a day. I can't trust them.
I know.
And if my child is wronged in school, there's a good chance that they will not have justice,
Right.
because of the way this system is designed. And I was like, yeah, I can know their teacher, but I don't know the background of all the children they're sitting in that classroom with.
Right. And what they're introduced to from other kids, and now with
Vile
technology, with
things.
phones. Yeah. I mean, pornography, everything.
Well, then they send them
like third or fourth grade
and
now.
they give the school issued laptops or iPads, and there's no parental controls, and there's no way. I know people whose kids were looking at porn on the school laptops and the school's like, well, we can't do anything to filter it, but your kid has to have it.
Right.
Here.
They'll say that there's parental controls, but all these kids know how to bypass that. Like I bypassed all that stuff when I was like in high school, and these kids are growing up on it from the day they're born. Like this is just, this generation is so capable, and
the system we have for education right now is solely created by a communist infiltration. It's designed to be an institution. It's an institutional setting.
Right.
That was designed to separate from you from your child, was designed to cause discord between you and your child.
Just break apart the whole family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
because, sorry.
No, you're good.
I was going to say, because also like the way we teach our kids just regarding everyday relationships, like we have our family circle, and then we have friendship circle, and then you would have obviously romantic circle down the road as they get older. But I always tell my kids, like, if our family circle isn't solid, like you're not getting the friendship circle, but when your kids are in public school every day, it's like they go regardless of whatever's happening at home or whatever. If your older one is all of a sudden super like rude, their tone, or like, causing just being disrespectful or treating the younger ones awful. Like if my oldest would act that way, I'd be like, okay, like we're cutting off friendship circle. We need to work on our family circle. Like until you can treat the family with respect, like I don't trust that you'll treat your friends with respect. So we're going to kind of bring it back in. But like with public school, it's like you still send them off to school, they come home with a bad attitude again. And like you're just not working on things that need to get back to the core. And
they're being formed by their peers, and they're leftist woke teachers who want to teach second graders about masturbation or we dodged that bullet in our state.
Like that are fine.
Yeah.
Which we should have an episode on, because the whole natural community will try to tell you things like that are fine, and they're not. So that'll be another time. But yeah, we are supposed to form our kids, and I don't want all those other people forming them at these.
I mean, 7 hours. Okay. So if you figure how many hours a day are you awake? You get up at 7 a.m. and you go to bed, on school days, 9 p.m. So 7 of those hours, and then you have transportation in between. You have no control over your children. Other people and strangers have more control over what goes on in your child's life than you do on a daily basis. And how are you okay with that is what I want to know.
I know. So we'll see. Some people might hate this episode.
I don't care.
That's fine.
That's fine. Hate it. Don't listen to it.
It's fine. But yeah, we'll see. So yeah, that's just our little go-to to give homeschooling a try. If you're feeling called to it, pray on it. Like that's what I did. I really wrestled with God over it, but came to this beautiful point, and I get it now. I get it, and I'm so thankful.
And we get a lot of feedback, but it's like in emails and
or text
or private messages. We'd like to see more engagement in the comments, like, share, subscribe.
I know.
Ask your questions in the comments. Give your feedback in the comments. But we do love the feedback we're getting, regardless of where it comes from. But we're here for your questions too. We're still small time enough that we have time to. We see most of your comments, so ask away.
So like, subscribe, share, whatever,
all that stuff.
Cool. So thanks for listening today to the Maha Mamas podcast, where we hope to inspire you to reclaim your health by trusting God's design.
But remember, God helps those who help themselves. So go get after it.
Go.